So good evening again, class. No, so this is hopefully this is our last lecture for module 2. So that by Friday or next week, we will be talking about module 3 already. So that module 3 is well relatively longer, but siguro matapos paghapon na in 2 sessions. But module 4 and 5 is quite longer. Maybe mag-spend tayo og mga, I would say, mga 2.5 weeks, no? Anang module 4 or 5. So I think we are still on target. After finishing up with module 2 and we will start with module 3, halfway through module 3, we will have a midterm exam. Actually, it's not a midterm exam, but it's every end of the module, no? Because as I have said, I will give you exam every module. This coming Friday, I will give you the exam for module 1, and then the next Friday, I will give you the exam for module 2. Okay, and then we have a lecture almost like halfway also of the period allotted to us. That would be, I think, early July. We will have another exam, which will actually be almost like the midterm. No, pero module exam ragod gihapon na siya. No, so it's just like that. No, so I will make some announcement after our lecture today. We will do the lecture for two lessons, 1.3 and 1. Oh no, not 1.3, but 2.3 and 2.4. So there are only 4 lessons for module 2. No, so we are done with 1.1 and 2.1 and 2.2. Now in the next 1 hour and a half, I suppose, we will do the 2.3 and 2.4. No, so please bear with me, and we'll start the lecture today. No, so thank you for being on time. Ako rin na late gamay. So okay. Now, last meeting we were talking about the effect of technology and business development as an agribusiness. One of the environmental factors for agribusiness, no, environmental factors, that is technology, no, and we have we have made discussions on the impact of technology, especially technology hastens communication and decision making. Now, technology also, if I may also continue, it will also impact on production and operation of a particular firm, like inventory management, like also planning for production lot size, etc. Many other production activities like automating a certain function. So these are part of technology. These are part of technology, and this will impact on efficiency of the firm. No matter what industry or business size or primary, technology allows opportunities to optimize production beyond what we could produce without it. So it's really giving benefits for really optimizing production operation. The only drawback then is actually when you intensify technology, it will be manpower replacing. Okay, it will be manpower replacing. So it's really a careful balance between the employment generation that you need to have in a particular economy, and of course the level of efficiency that you are going also to achieve in the production operation. So it's really going to be a tight balance. But if technology is still expensive at any particular time, it's still worthwhile to employ like manpower, human, for example, power. No, so that is the trade-off between using technology up against using manual operation. No? Now, still on technology development, in terms of production operation, now it does not only refer to like production operation in in manufacturing operation. In production operation, also in service enterprise, we can do a lot of really efficiency enhancing, say, technology that will automate a service. Okay, that will automate service. For example, in other countries, there are already coffee shop that are already coffee shop that are being serviced. The service crew is actually robot already. Now there are robots already operating and serving customers the moment you order your coffee, serving upon tables. Now that's something that is really developing in some advanced countries. Even automated cash register in a service enterprise can also be done, and much more inventory scheduling, and other things. So these are some of the benefits of technology. Now you can just imagine using that in agribusiness in many of the things that we are doing. No, now in facilitating inventory, for example, you can have scheduling of delivery can also be done using technology, information technology actually, and also transactions between business to business that can also be facilitated by technology. Gone, gone are the days where you need to, for example, call your customer, or you need to what? You need to really send him a telegram or telex or something like that. Those were the olden days. Okay, now we have already a very quick and very seamless like technology by using email or by using your cell phones. No, in no time you can make decisions and make really order something or allow something to be delivered in no time. There will come a time also that the drone when drone analytics becomes more and more popular and affordable, delivery is really much more personalized. Delivered door to door, it's more than just door to door. Even if you're in the park, food delivery can be done by drone. No, uh, uh, serving or giving you whatever you order from a particular food chain. Now it's very possible because there are drones already this time that can lift, no? Pwede nag-alsahon sa drone as much as 20 kilos, no? So if you order from Shakey's Pizza or wherever, Jollibee or McDonald's, now those hamburgers and etc. can easily be lifted by drone and go to your specific place wherever you're, even in the middle of the ocean, it can be delivered there, hot and fresh. So, but these are still expensive this time. But when the right time comes, when things are already becoming more and more affordable, it can be done in no time also. That's technology. No? Technology. It is a a work of fiction this time, but it will be a reality in the near future. Okay. Now, many inventory processes are automated because of technology. Organization of inventory control, meeting customer demand, it can also be done by technology. No, so these are the things. Now, even in record keeping and financial transaction, there are already apps this time that can really provide you with the seamless summary of your financial transaction and give you the financial statement in real time. No? In real time. So even if you need financial statement at the end of every week, it can give you automatically at the end of the business week. No, so these are very efficient technology, but the 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 said technology is still expensive for a small enterprise, but relatively for progressive and enterprises with sizable capital, these are also very cost effective and cost efficient. In fact, no? Now also the impact of technology on business environment is that it diminish security risk. Okay, it diminishes security risk. Meaning to say, you can monitor your business through remote control. You can live stream everything. and also you can use machine to get the task done. Even in agribusiness, in some countries, like for example Israel or other advanced countries, poultry business is really a computer work. There is a poultry in Israel I have known, and I have seen that on documentary. There were how many? Maybe more than 20,000 or 30,000 birds inside the poultry house. And you know what? Who works there? So only the owner or the manager, his computer and laptop, and a dog. No, and a dog. So what's the use of the dog? The dog acts as security guard, because if because feeding is automated, everything, lighting is controlled by, I know, watering is controlled by computer, and uh, at the time of feeding, if there is something wrong with if owner is going to the veterinary supplier, and something is wrong with the system in there, and it will beep an alarm in his cell phone, then he will just go to the nearest computer shop and check the whatever is malfunctioning, and he can adjust that, he can repair that online. So that's how they do poultry business, and everything is controlled, no? I remember then in that documentary, the light turns off and turns on at a certain period of time, and the chickens are growing well. Why? Because the uh, uh, it's covered, it's closed practically, it's dark. It's dark when there is no light, but the feeding timing of feeding is controlled. When the light turned on by the computer, so the birds are becoming busy, and the feeds will flow. The birds will or the chicken will eat the feeds, and then after a while, they also drink at the watering troughs. They drink, and then after a while, a certain period of time, the light will turn off, so it's completely dark. The chicken will just lie down and rest. So it just resting and eating, and before you know it, the chickens are growing healthy and so big because no physical exercise. No, very quickly they grow so much also. So that's how they do poultry business in the no. Unlike in our case, there is a there is what there's a poultry enterprise in Leyte and also in Samar. They have 80,000 birds, but boy, they also employ so many people, maybe 100 people in that, more than 100 people in that 80,000 bird population poultry. No? Kung computer controlled pa na, ah, wala na. Dali ra na kayo. Computer ay mo basin og duha ra na ka tawo sa kuan sa kanang 80,000 birds, no? So no problem of thief, or maybe somebody is going to pilfer something ng mangawat ba, because it's covered by it's monitored by TV. Okay. Now, technology also is providing opportunities for growth, no? Technology helps business grow at a much faster rate when technology was not available. That's true, no? It grows faster when technology is there. Niadto, we will raise chicken, or we will raise uh, uh, swine to reach about 100 kilos in 6 months. But now, 3 to 4 months, pwede na. 100 kilos na ng imong 80 to 100 kilos na ng imong hogs. 3 to 4 months. Just like chicken. Niadto, maabot pa tag 45 days to get a kilo of chicken, or maybe kilo and a half chicken, broiler. But this time, don't you know that the longest is 1 month? So they have shortened the through technology. Okay, through technology. So these are the things that are really going on. It that can spell out a lot of growth potential for if there is technology. Now we will also see that decision making in in the farm, or even in the business, is much facilitated by technology. You know, because of the fast information circulating around our head, or around your environment, decision making is really also becoming faster and faster, and production operation also becomes faster. You don't have to wait for how many hours, how many days before you are able to know the price in town. You just have to open you Google, and you see certain website. In few seconds you will know the price and the volume and whatever situation of the industry. Okay, there are a lot of information circulating in our head and in our surroundings, no? So also, technology is providing us online presence. Okay, online presence. That means to say, you can you can converse, you can interact with people even though you have not seen them personally. Okay, even in my case, I am planting, for example, few hills of dragon fruit, but I don't know how to culture, how to raise them, how to really take care of them, because in the first place, I haven't tried growing dragon fruit, for example, in my case. So I just look at the website and really see how these things are done, and then my dragon fruit, few hills, only a few hills, are already growing, no? And there are pests and diseases. And you know what happened? Just yesterday or the other day, I think the other day, just the other day, there was something wrong with the growing leaf of my dragon fruit. So what happened? I took a picture and sent it to somebody I know who is a dragon fruit, who owns a dragon fruit plantation in Bukidnon, and in few minutes I got the recommendation already what to do with the one that is like abnormality I've seen from my dragon fruit leaf. So told me do this and that, do this and that, and I I I I also followed him and then sent to him, and then he gave me advice immediately in less than 5 minutes. No, in less than 5 minutes. Just wonder, everything is in your cell phone. You can just talk and send a communication, give advice already in few seconds. Okay, so online presence is very important, and there will come a time that being online is really a basic right of every citizen. Being online in other countries, this is already a basic right that everybody must be online. Kung dili ka online, you have to assert that nga tagaan kag online presence, because that is, our world has become three-dimensional already. Dili siya limited of space. Napon siya sa online, no? So that sa Pilipinas di pa ta maka-demand, because our presence is still, our online presence is still very unstable sometimes, but it's just a matter of time. We can do that already, no? Online presence, either in online presence, or you can also do on air presence, but much faster is in the online presence. On air is by radio, no, by radio. Okay, now there will come a time also that our online presence becomes a virtual reality already, like hologram. Okay, you want to talk to a technician. Okay, you want to talk to a technician. You just really chat him on your cell phone, and then beam him right in front of you. He will appear talking to you. Okay, it's already, it might just be a fiction now, but it becomes a reality sooner or later. The extension already is becoming more and more remote and online. Makikistora ka sa farmer dito sa bukid, kung na siya nga to'y cellphone, or na siya kuan sa internet, online siya sa internet, the type of cellphone that he will use, that will also beam the online presence of the technician, and then imong kuan dito sa tanom, he can give you advice in no time. Grabe, no? Grabe kaayo nga extension form. It's almost like a fiction, an imaginary fiction this time. But boy, it will become a reality in the near future. Why? This is science. You know, science before, no, katong sa una pa, count maybe 10 or 15 or 20 years ago, science started with a fiction, science fiction. But now it has become a science. It has become a reality, no? So it's online has revolutionized the way we do things and the way we decide on things, and the way we manage things. Okay. Now, still on online presence will give us fantastic engagement with the audience, as I've been explaining a while ago. Very fantastic. On time, real time, and also, say, for example, uh, very engaging. No? Now, online presence is already what? Is already in full use and even in efficient use in medical science actually uh, se- uh, quite a decade ago, several decades ago, because something like very specialized surgery to be done, and only very few surgeons can do it in the world. Now the patient is in the U.S. and the surgeon is in India or in Singapore. The surgery can be done through remote, ano, remote audience, no, to remote audience or remote surgeon. So he will use the instrument in Singapore to do an operation somewhere in the U.S. or vice versa. Surgeon in the U.S. do the operation somewhere in Singapore or India or in Japan or wherever it is present. So it is because of online communication that can be done already. No, so making things simple for things that were complicated before. No, that's something like that. So it's what we call as the Internet of Things. The Internet of Things. Now, online disaster also can be done. Online can happen actually. Online disaster, especially if there is not enough security in your online system, you can easily be hacked. That is also one thing that we need to safeguard. Your money can volatilize, can evaporate in seconds kung walay safeguard ng imong deposit sa bangko. No, ma-withdraw ra na, wala kay balo, no? That's also one online disaster. Or the system can just fail anytime kung ma-invade ng imong imong system, IT system. That's also one type. So if you have an online system, we also have to invest on security, online security. No? Now, there are there are pros, there are also cons in online system. Technology is an integral part of today's era that is helping shape the future of our world. No? So, while there is pros, there are also cons, but the cons, however, include breaks in technology that cause certain accidents. But we need to take into consideration that these are not these are not surmountable. These are solvable, but we need to invest on additional security. Now, I'm going to bring you a little further on technology as an important impact or an important factor in business development. Now, technology this time, no, this time in your generation, technology is actually not is not developing in parallel or in cadence with our existing lifestyle. Okay, you might think that technology development is in cadence, dungan ba in cadence or in parallel with our lifestyle. No, the technology this time is already much more advanced than our lifestyle and our generation. There is already a technology that is available this time that is actually a technology 20 years from now. Pero na karon, very advanced technology. And it is already being used, but it actually what we call as disrupt our way of living, our way of thinking. It disrupts our dynamics, the normal dynamics. May it be in the home, in the business, or wherever we are doing something. There are what we call as disruptive technology. Okay, disruptive technology. What are disruptive technologies? It is an innovation that significantly alters the way that consumers, industries, and business operate. Okay? Moyong ka nga, makikita gyud ka sa imong kanang moadto jud ka sa kanang dai imong suki nga tindahan kay gusto gyud ka nga kuan kana bitang makigistorya para masigurado nimo nga tagaan jud ka og kuan, tagaan jud ka og maayong service. This time it's no longer necessary. With online transactions, it can be done, no? Na gusto gyud ka nga na ay simhoton gyud mo ang mangga or unsa ba nga prutas para makahibaw ka nga tamis gyud. No. This time doesn't need to be done that way. You have the apps in your cell phone, you can just scan the QR code or the fruit, and then there is a sensor there that really detects the sugar content of the fruit. It is possible that way. Okay? It is possible. So, imog yung tilawan para makahibaw kag tamis. No, you can use sensors this time. These are part of disruptive technologies. Technology sweeps away systems, habits. It replaces because it has attributes that are recognizably superior. Okay? Recognizably superior. Na yung mga technology nga mas maayo pa sa tao. Okay? Mo detect og naluto na ba maluto or something like that. Mas maayo pa na kunta sa tao. Disruptive technology are, for example, online news sites, ride-sharing apps, and GPS system. No? GPS system. Niadto, why GPS system? Anybody traveling without a GPS, maligaw yun. Because magsalig ka sa compass, pareho rag imong needle sa compass, pero layo na din ka sa destinasyon nimo. Drift na ka. Pero GPS, no drifting possible. Tutok ka sa imong destination. But it is disruptive, but because if anybody does not know how to use them, boy, he will be unemployed immediately. Okay? You will become unemployed immediately if you are in an industry or in an employment situation, and then here comes this mga bagong technology and you don't know how to use it, then you are redundant. It's better that the machine will do it for you. Kung di ka kahibaw mo gamit, na ma-unemployed din ka, di man ka makuha. Di man ka katrabaho because the machine will replace you if you don't know how to operate. No? So these are disruptive technologies. Now, disruptive technologies also has a strategic attraction for a disruptive technologies. It supersedes older process. Okay? It usually starts up rather than established companies are the source of disruptive technologies. Ang mga bag-o ba nga mosulod kasagaran sa ila mga mao ni mo gamit og disruptive technology para makasulod gyud sa market. Okay? The presence of any or all of the strategic attraction provides an opening for disruptive business. No? Like, for example, automated car wash. Okay? So automated car wash, wala. So, nga to, nanay mo wash dito and then wala na tao kinanglan. Sa ato kinanglan pa tayo wash boy, no? This allows disruptors to move upstream over time and cannibalize more customer segments. No? Kung mukuan siya, kanang magamit na sa uban, it will replace like manual operation and change the way we do business. That's how disruptive technology are. No? So we go for like, what are the upcoming disruptive technology? Okay, what are the upcoming disruptive technology? By the way, this is the start of another segment. No? What are the upcoming disruptive technologies? So I'm going to mention some of them, but we will discuss them in Module 5 specifically. All these things. Some of the disruptive technologies are IoT or Internet of Things. Okay, there is also what we call as big data analytics. Okay, AI or artificial intelligence, and then you also have neurotechnologies, nano or micro satellites, nanotechnologies, nanomaterial, additive manufacturing, advanced energy storage technologies, no? Synthetic biology and blockchain. So for some of us, bago na what is blockchain? What is synthetic biology? Okay, it's very disruptive because at the very first encounter, you seem not to trust them, and yet they can do better than us. like artificial intelligence. You already have encountered that using your cell phone. It can recognize you. Facial recognition. Kung maduli mong naong mo, on imong cellphone. Pero laing tao, di man na mo on. Kaya di man ang ilang naong mo ay na recognize ito sa system. Okay? So, it's really, I was, I was, I was laughing, no? I was laughing, a few days ago. Even deciding how to buy cars this time, no? Parang fiction pa lang ni karon, pero it will come. There is already a proof of concept and a proof of product using AI this time. They can use AI and also neurotechnologies combined together, no? How? Decision to buy a car. No? Now, there is a company in the US, they have proven this. There is a company in the US that will customize the kind of car that you want. For example, musod ka dito sa Toyota, Toyota, Toyota Motors LA or Los Angeles, no? Because it was in the US. Pag ka palit ko car, tanaw ka model. So you see, you can select from our models. But if you are really going to have your own customized car, we have another option. Really? I want something that is just exactly and is fitted everything that you have in mind makuha dito sa ilang AI technology. How? So, come into this room for VIP. Ngadto siya. Pag adto niya ngadto, yung gitagaan siya og murag plastic bayal. So what is this for? Pangluwa diha, ma'am. Butangin nagsalayba nimo. Puno ng gamay ra, murag bayal ra gyud. Puna nag imong salayba. Okay? Puna lang. And then without even telling me what kind of car, but see to it that you are thinking, you are already imagining, but don't tell me what you are imagining. But just spit on it. Iluwa lang dito, pag-imagine lang kung sa imong gusto, ana. So dito niya, kuha na gyud ka na imong laway, mapuno na siyang murag bayal. Ari nga, ana, story, lain silang istoryahan, pero nag-imagine siya, kuha, sige, pangluwa na. Puno na gyud murag bayal. Okay, are we done? Sira. Okay, you come back next week. And then, satisfaction guaranteed. Refund. If the car that we will make for you is not, or does not fit to your personal likeness. Yun siya. 1 week. Come back after 1 week. Hatag niya. Okay, 1 week tawag ng company. Tawag. Ma'am, you can come here maybe 2 days from now. Your car is ready. What? Hindi siya na. Nato siya. Niya, pag ato niya, di siya katuo nga ang shape, ang color, hasta ang interior dito sa car. Exactly. Maugyo yung yun-ahuna. Maugyo. The choice of color, the choice of design, and the tanan, yung mga nakuan gyud. How did they do that? How did they do it? Ang kadtong imong laway na atoy mga DNA kuan ba, expression nimo sa imong connected sa imong neurosystem, and then ngadto nagmap na to daan unsay gusto niya gi-model dito sa gi-model dito sa computer, and exactly na shape dito ang car, ang color, tanan, interior, then gi-manufacture. Can you imagine? Parang fiction, no? Grabe kaayo. Parang fiction, but it's already in the market. But expensive pa lang. Siguro 3, 4, or 5 times sa normal price ana nga car. But given that particular option, those mga filthy rich nga mga individual ay mo kuha diana kay customize man, no? Customize. Kung sa imong ihun-una, that's how AI works this time. It's a very promising and potentially disruptive technology. If you have that option, you can disrupt the way you compete in the market because customize pa lang mo if you have that particular technology, no? Para lang po sa mga dato. Para sa mga dato. Maka-afford mong yun. So it's like that. Nanotechnology. Ang uban ng mga company, mag-extract og powder sa turmeric, ang ato dili ipit-ipit pa, ato pa nang ibuwat, kupusan pa na nato. They use it using nanotechnology. in the Philippines, they can already do that. No? That's disruptive technology this time. Now, let's quickly discuss Internet of Things. It's Internet of Things. It visions hyper-connected, digitally responsive society. No, there are already so many. You can order online. That's Internet of Things. That's one example of Internet of Things. No, several safeguards need to be put in place to ensure data protection and security. Online banking, that is already part of IoT or Internet of Things. Big data analytics, meaning to say you can make forecasting very accurate in no time. It can process for you. No, greater monitoring of human activities and spread of Internet of Things. No, there is also what we call as AI. Katong ingon sa inyo ganina, AI man to plus neurotechnologies gigamit decision to buy a car. Grabe kayo. Magluwa lang ka dito. Ila tong analyzation dito sa ilang pakuha mang imong DNA. Hasta ang imong siguro unsa ilang technology di ato pati ang 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 mga signals, brain signal siguro sa nabutang sa imong dila ngadto sa imong laway, ma-pick up to sa ilang model. Grabe ano. And then the color, nag-imagine sa color, ma-transform na into signals dito sa imong mga neurotoxin or something ana. Ma-isolate na sa computer mo niyang color ganahan, mao niyang model. Pagtanaw sa babae, mao to iyang wow, mao pang gyud ni. So, what of a kind gyud ang iyang palit siya na, bayaran dayon, but expensive. Demand for knowledge of workers who are able to develop AI will increase later on. Kana bang even siguro decision to marry, delikado na. Gamitan og AI, no? Gamitan og AI. So, kuha ka, makibaw na ka, makita na sa hologram, mao na nga babay ang imong gusto, mao na nga laki imong gusto. I-project na dayon sa that is murag di ko ganahan ana. Kay murag ko anta kanang nahi magkunahon na tawag something murag gimbento ra nato, no? But theoretically it is possible to do that, no? Now, creative and tacit knowledge also advances in AI, no? Artificial intelligence, dagan pa kaayo sa health, sa government transactions, even in medicine and transport, AI can do, no? Kanang sensor nga inig kuani mo inig kana bang inig mo parking ka especially sa city, ang car karon has a lot of sensors sa side. So it can drive for you. Lisod pa kag parking ana-ana ka sa imong sakyanan, lisod ka ana. So pag abot dito i-switch nimong AI assisted parking, siya na mangita. Siya na mo tuyok sa manubila ka-parking yun, di yun makabangga. O kita ana manual na to, makabangga ta sigurado o kulang og space. Pero AI wala na. Kuang kayo kana bang precise na kayo mo himo diana, no? So there are upcoming disruptive technologies aside from AI. There are also neurotechnologies ka mo communicate na sa imong mga nervous system or sa imong brain. And there are also what we call as nano or microsatellite. Okay? So that is very important, no? It can navigate. There is a diagnostic nanotechnology nga mo take di ato nga murag tablet pero nano compounds. Musuro ito sa imong system tan-aw na sa mga abnormality. Ma-communicate dayon ngadto sa camera. Parang nagpadala og scanner ba dito sa imong stomach. And it will exit right at your bowels end. No? So iya lang yung i-scan. And then naa siya microsignal mo send dito sa monitor. Gitan-aw unsay makasud sila nga to sa liver, tan-aw gyud ang liver dito, no? Grabe nga technology. But as I said, it's already in the industry, but a little quite expensive paghihapon for common people to use, no? So nanomaterials, you have materials that are very very light, very very small, and also you have there are also bigger materials, no? Technical constraints and uncertainties over their toxicity to humans and environment must be considered, no? Very important. Then you also have additive manufacturing. What is additive manufacturing? That is three-dimensional printing. No? Three-dimensional printing. Kung mag-print ka og model, 3D na. 3D. Its materials, layering of materials, often used in computer-aided design or software. No? So, mayroon ka nga nakaibalay. So, dito sa computer, musod ka. Yung ka nga, i-model mo, musod ka sa imong balay, musod ka CR, musod ka sa underground, pwede na. Kita nimo dito. Manay three-dimensional printing. Suod na. No? Unsa may hitsura sa akong sala, ang iatok sa drawing na to, mo man, pero ang iya is, makita nimo sa on-screen, unsa hitsura? Mura kang suod gito, mo navigate ka sa sulod. Grabe kaayo, no? Energy storage battery, no? So, niadto ang energy storage naraman sa battery nga gamay, nya pila ra pud ka adlaw. Nya wa na dispose. Nya ang naay solar gamay ra pug storage. Okay? I remember that was like how many years? Siguro that was like mga 30 years ago, gaya na no? 30 years ago, tigulang na gid ta. 30 years ago, ang una gyud nga na ay relatively advanced nga computer. Dinhi sa BSU dinhi sa BSU. The first unit, the first office that has ever had a computer. Grabe pa gito kaayo. And the biggest in storage capacity. That time, that was like 1987, something like that. No, wala pa mo tao siguro ato. Mga 1987 or 86. The first nga na ay computer din nga dako kay nga storage, ma-amaze na ka, was Center for Social Research, CSR. You know what was that computer? Wala na to nga brand karon, pero advanced to during that time. You know the storage capacity? Ang storage capacity kana to kaayon, advanced na to during that time. Guess what? 21 megabytes. Megabytes. Karon ang 30 or even 1 gigabyte USB ra na. USB ra na. Kadto 21 megabytes kina ano to ato nga time. Andan kadako kay sa CPU. Karon ang CPU, ang hard disk murag usa ka dakong CPU dito sa sulod. Pero karon ang hard disk, it's not even hard disk. It's solid state ano na siya, disk. It's very light, no? And then karon 21 megabytes. Unya karon ang USB how many? 1 gigabyte, 32 gigabytes. Ni adto 21 megabytes is already very advanced. Very fast. Karon na sa imong system 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte, grabe kaayo, no? So that's how. And then energy storage, much more energy storage, very advanced na. Laptop sa una good for 1 hour lang battery. Karon you can use the laptop for like 1 day, okay lang. And then you also have a power charging using touch lang, no wire at all, wireless transmission of energy or power. Cordless power charging. Possible na karon, no? That's why later on redundant na ng wire. You can just imagine. Mutabok og kalsada ang imong ang imong wire para sa electricity. Mutabok og kalsada. What will you do? Patabok yun ang wire or underground ka. Tabok na to, power. Pero in the future, remote na. Na-receiver dire, transmit na og kurente by remote control. So, it is possible this time for small gadgets, but it's only a matter of time na pwede na nagamiton og general transmission. No? Energy storage technology. You also have synthetic biology. Okay? Synthetic biology is really being already in use in many products this time. They can process hamburger patties without having to buy beef or livestock at all. Dili sila kinahanglan mag-ihaw. Naalay kuan, naalay for example what? Nakahibalo sila sa genomic sequence ng beef, i-culture lang na sa petri dish, mohimo na siya beef. Yeah, without the hassle of raising livestock. It is a positive direction in the future. Why? Because it is environment friendly. Don't you know that livestock, mga hogs, like cows, cara beef, or basta livestock, it is polluting to the environment because ang ilang mga dung or manure is emitting methane gases which is hurting sa ozone layer. You can just imagine 1,000 heads, 3,000, 6,000, 10,000 heads of cattle. It's really environmentally destructive, no? Not to mention ang kuan pa, ang na-destroy nga forest area because of pasture, no? So this time they can produce beef in a synthetic way, no? And even in crops or even in crops, it is possible already to produce fresh milk, just like cow's milk. To produce fresh milk from sweet potato. Fresh milk, sweet potato, yes. Pwede na. Conceptually, in chemistry, what is in sweet potato? Diba? Glucose or starch? Glucose. It's only a matter of tweaking the structure there. Mahimo ng lactose. From glucose to lactose. What is milk? Milk is lactose. So, flavoring, no problem. Mura pog baho sa baka, but it is actually coming from sweet potato. Synthetic biology. It's very possible already this time. And there are products already that are available in the market nga no? Doing these things. Genetically modified organism, no? These are using synthetic biology technology, no? Sa ila. And don't you know that China is investing so much in synthetic biology or in genetically modified say products, mga organisms, mga plants, mga animals. They are really doing that, no? And much more in the other advanced countries. And there is also what we call as blockchain technology. So blockchain technology is a technology that is very important for kanabang tawag ini kanabang certifying the authenticity of transaction and the authenticity of document and the authenticity of whatever you can avoid fraud or fake you can ma-fake kung gamitan mo blockchain technology. A simple example, it's already working, it's already available in the market. Diploma, okay? Diploma, kung ang imong diploma naka-embed ang blockchain technology, it cannot be copied by any person except BSU kung naay license ang BSU di ana nga technology. Because diploma is very important document. Ang uban magpahimog diploma sa Recto dito sa Manila, it really appears, or passport or whatever. But in blockchain technology, it has a unique identifying marks. A unique identifying marks that will allow you to really claim that it is authentic. It is authentic. Peer-to-peer consensus record, no? Authentic. Another is, for example, you are identifying you want to buy a product, for example, jackfruit, ang gikan ra gyud sa bye-bye. Gikan siya bye-bye. In other words, naa siya gitawag ng geographic identity. So what will happen in a blockchain technology, i-encode dito sa system unsay DNA profile sa jackfruit nga naa sa bye-bye. Unsay unique sa bye-bye nga jackfruit nga gikan gyud sa bye-bye. Unsay unique, or for example, di na lang jackfruit, bye-bye tol. Ano na kaingon mag bye-bye tol? So i-profile na siya lahi ba yun na sa Laguna tol. So ang ma-profile ng DNA ana, ma-load dito na sa system, ma-detect na yun, kaya even the processed fruit, even the milk, everything, ma-kuha na, ma-kuha ng authenticity, ma-safeguard. Hindi ka makakuha nga, wapo, lami kay nga coconut milk. Nagikanis bye-bye, from bye-bye tol. Sampulan na ng imo kan pagtanaw na, o di mali bye-bye tol. Kuan man ni Malaysian yellow dwarf man ni nga tuno, awa na. Why? Because the system will detect. No? That's just one thing nga magamitan ani blockchain technology. And it is very useful for banks. Nga transaction is fraud proof. Di baka fake out gamitan ani nga technology. Because daghay maka-withdraw unya fake di ay. So gamitan aning blockchain technology na ay unique identifying marks. Then there are also products in the agribusiness value chain nga very important. Should be tamper proof. No need of really going there, supervising it yourself just to make sure nga dili gyud fake. Ma-detect na. Pag-abot, imo nang i-load sa imong system, kay balo kadayon, no? So, the database allows the transfer of value within the computer networks. Payment is also technology behind Bitcoin this time. Electronic currency. Nakikita ba kung electronic currency karon? Kusog ni kayo ang Bitcoin karon circulating throughout the world. I was even enticed to participate in Bitcoin transaction but medyo di pa kaya sa akong imagination. I am very adamant or very reluctant kung ano lang ko ning lahos, no? Kay sayang kakahiba how the system works. Unya, Bitcoin transaction naa dito sa musulod sila bisag asa nga stock exchange. So in other words, kani nga technology, although it is being used this time, but delikado siya kay it has dili man siya governed by Securities and Exchange Commission. As of this time, free pa siya mo-operate o circumnavigate sa different system. But it is also one payment system that is very fraud-proof. No? So, in module 2, that is also in still on 2.3, no? Policy and legal environment, no? Legal environment. So you have here a policy and legal environment, because we are already we are done with the technology as it affects business. Now we go to policy and legal environment as it affects business also. No? Policy and legal environment. Now, in our local and national or international laws, we have certain rules and regulation that impacts specifically on agriculture and agribusiness. Okay, the moment laws and policy changes, it will impact on the way we do business and agriculture or in agribusiness. No? So it's very important that we are also very familiar about existing laws so that we know how to do business, and we know also how to maximize or optimize the cost of doing business. Okay, very critical. Now, in the absence of national legislation, no, this policy and legal environment in business, in the absence of national legislation, an increasing number of state and localities have enacted laws to restrict or protect agricultural biotechnology. No? The trend towards vertical integration and contract production has continued in agricultural supply chain, so that how the policy and legal environment is facilitating this will mean a lot in terms of making and unmaking the business profitability. Okay. You have here animal production. There are increasing market opportunities in for identify preserved commodity grains produced by other manufacturers, and then they have agreements that will create legal concerns for farm operators. In other words, transactions are governed by the legalities of your relationship through contracts. No? So in other countries, okay, in other countries, the signature and the seal will already legalize. Okay, we will already legalize the transaction in other countries. But in our country, it's different. Kung gusto ka nga legal, na kay it's notarized by the notary. Na abogado mo testify nga actually it is legal. But in other countries, it's different. Like for example, in China, in Hong Kong, or even in Singapore, no need of notarization. Ang nasila, ikaw, personal ka, private citizen, you have your own seal. Unique sa imo na. Mura bang stamp ba? Anak nimo sa i-stamp nimo dito sa imong pirmahan, pirmahan po nimo, that's good as notarized. Because nobody owns that particular seal. Ikaw naman na. Okay? So that, mangita pa ka, paano gini manotarize nga dokumento? Kung nakita ka nga sealed siya, na isilyo, plus na pa signature, that's more than enough to have the effect of a notarized document, no? Something like that, no? So, numerous legal issues also will impact on the way we transact business. Loss of farmland to non-agricultural. This usage continues, albeit at slower rate than earlier decades, no? So, wamatay safeguards on how to prevent encroaching of other land types. So, mao nang na-encroach gyud atong yuta with like rice field himuon nga rice mill or rice field himuon nga residential. Wala di safeguards ana, no? So it's really very important to know the policy and legal environment of the country, no? Continued study of international and domestic environmental laws principles will also allow us to appreciate and also be prepared in transacting business with local and international partners, no? Local and international partners. We have to know kung sa ilang foundation sa ilang balaod, no? Now, political factors also play a vital role in agribusiness development. A political system existing in a particular country. Now, government policies regarding land, regarding irrigation, regarding market and trade, etc. For example, in Europe, they don't collect land tax. Wala sila land tax dito. Sa ato mo kolekta man tag land tax. Dahil mong nakayuta mo tax gyud ka ana. What do they collect? They collect income from land. Income tax from land. So in other words, you need to make your land productive. Kaya otherwise, kung ang imong land dili productive, kuhaon sa gobyerno. That means, in order nga legalize ang imong ownership ana nga land, that land must be tax payer. That land must be paying tax through income. Kung why income na for several years, hello, your attention will be called by the government. Why is this land being idle? Okay, is this not being used for income purposes? So if you cannot produce income out of this land, then somebody is going to take over and cultivate for you, and that somebody will just pay you a rent because di man ka makaatiman. Ana sila. Kita bahala na nagtag-as na ng sagbot diya. Mutax gihapon ta to legalize our ownership, no? So they don't collect land tax, but they collect income tax from land. Okay, so marketing and trading, there is also certain regulations, right? In our country and also in other countries also. Now, government laws and policies enacted to implement serve as pattern or platform by which all actors of the economy should behave and relate with each other. Okay, in the entire competitive landscape of the economy. Now, in our country, for example, the mother of all policies and laws affecting agribusiness development is what we call as the RA 8435, or otherwise known as the AFMA or Agriculture and Fisheries Modernization Act. Mao gyud na gyud nag-govern. Mao ni nag-govern sa agriculture and agribusiness development in the country. An overarching national policy for agriculture and agribusiness enacted in 1997 by the Congress of the Philippines. If you are an investor in the agricultural sector and of course in the agribusiness sector in the Philippines, you need to be familiar with AFMA. Unsa may mga priority sa AFMA. Okay? So, there is what we call as certain priorities as defined by this act. An act prescribing the urgent related measures to modernize agriculture, prepares the sector for the challenges of globalization, and rational delivery of necessary support services, appropriating funds, therefore, for other purposes. No? Now, also with AFMA, there is also what we call as policies and other directives in promoting industrialization and also private employment. Okay, so what are the policies? Poverty alleviation on AFMA, food security. You also have rational use of resources, global competitiveness, also in AFMA. And you also have a sustainable development in AFMA. It's also part there, no? And of course, people empowerment also is being safeguarded in AFMA. Now, it is also spelled out in AFMA protection from unfair competition. That means to say, in agribusiness or in agriculture, there is a fully defined competitive landscape. So you better become familiar of this para you know you would be able to prepare yourselves how to relate with business in this particular sector. Okay, so that is 2.3 in this lesson. Okay, now I said there is what there is a quiz that I have pinpointed. We will just have to discuss on that or this is something like this. Na yung mga quizzes akong ibutang as learning task, ako lang na ipuno dito sa exam. Okay? Na ako'y question dito, plus na ako'y question for quizzes. Kung na ito'y, unsa to nga mga quiz, duha tulo na to, ipuno to na ako nga question dito. Akong i-specify, this is a quiz question. Okay? Lain po tong exam yun sa module. Okay? So, in module 2.4, this is the last module for this lesson. This is the last lesson for this module. Another environmental factor is market and market environment. Okay? So, what do we mean by, what is the difference between market and marketing? Okay? Market is a place where buyers and sellers do transaction. Okay? Or execute transaction. That is a market, any place. But marketing is something else. Marketing is what? Marketing is, how do we define marketing? Marketing is serving the needs of the customer. Okay? Serving the needs of the customer either through product, service, or experience. You serve the needs of the customer by either through product, service, or experience. So, service, the way you serve. What about experience? What's man ang experience? You serve the needs of the customer through experience. Pwede product. Serve kay sinugba, that's product. The way you do service, very polite ka, that's service. But what about experience? How do you put that into your marketing spectrum? Experience can either be what? Can either be the overall formatting of your environment. Just like, for example, why do people always will really go back to Denmark in in Baybay to have dinner. Kung may baliko nila, ang sinugba nga tuna, not exactly. Kung may baliko nila, daghan ba'y mga guwapa or guwapo dito mag-serve, maayo mo polite kayo? I don't think so. Maybe not, maybe yes. Kung may baliko nila, the experience. Okay, the experience. Mo ato ka dito, ato ka mukhaon, the Prince Baybayon. Very, ang ambience, in other words, that's part of the whole package of experience. Kauna daw ng tuna dito sa inyong balay, lamian pa ka? Or ano, bisan pag kung saan mo nag-serve, tuwara ka sa inyong balay, it's different. Pero imo nang kaunon, the Prince Baybayon, you can see the sunset, you can see everything. Well, that's different. No? That's experience. That is marketing. Okay? Serving the needs of the customer, either to product, service, or experience. Wa gila ang definition ng marketing. Now, places near large centers of population is a market. You develop a market. Okay? And then, in the state of literature, when we talk about market, is that it provides medium of transmission for vital information, focusing on value creation sa marketing and market environment. No? Now, new paradigms do not create new facts. For example, effective marketing begins with basic understanding of the fundamental realities of markets regardless of one's paradigm. Okay? Effective marketing, understanding of the fundamental realities of your customer also, no? Not just the market. And then you also have product and also being served and the services around it, no? The services around it. Now, another is you have, in a specialized economy, most customers are not producers. Marketing involves transfer of ownership or possession to another individual who produce it. Okay? Who produce it. Time is another important aspect of marketing. No? Time. Because serving the customer needs at the right time is, boy, it's really something very important. In BSU before, as simple as newspaper. As simple as newspaper. Why am I telling you this? Way back, well, what year? Maybe 1980s, 1970s and 1980s. Lugay na ko dire. The first time I was here was 1972. And then from there on, I studied high school and then college until I work here after finishing college. No? So, what was it like during that time, maybe 1979, 1980? One particular product or product, newspaper. What about newspaper? Newspaper in BSU or BSU at that time. Newspaper in Visca at that time. Newspaper is history. Why? Because newspaper that arrives here is actually newspaper 7 days ago, 1 week ago. Lugay mo abot ang newspaper diri. Wa pa gud internet, wala pa telepono. Suga mo pa ang pagkakuan. Really history yun. Maybe you read the newspaper in the library, but it is actually a news 1 week ago. It's very difficult because the road from Tacloban to here, very difficult. And nobody seems to care about carrying newspaper here. Newspaper is only in Tacloban, but here, it arrives in the library 1 week ago, 1 week after. So what happens? There was one individual, very enterprising. The cost of newspaper at the time was like how much? 8 pesos ang usang newspaper. Kung ato naman paliton sa Tacloban. It was like 5 pesos in Manila. Now, that guy was selling newspaper 15 pesos here in BSU. Door-to-door delivery, but daily. Oh, that is an improvement. Many professors, instructors did really like reserve subscription daily newspaper. Even the library also subscribe. That person made a made a bounty out of that business for like 2 to 3 years because after that, ning abot naman, naayo naman ang kalsada. No? Now, you can just imagine during that time, for for a vehicle, BSU vehicle, four-wheel drive, ha, mutabok, amo ato rag Tacloban. Pag abot des Maginhas, abrihan ang hood. Mutabok sa suba, may tulay. Mutabok sa suba, abrihan ang hood para dili mabasa ang makina aron muana ra ang tubig. Kay grabe ang tubig tabukon sa sakyanan. That's how difficult ang kalsada. Circa 1980. Okay? But this time, wala naman. You can see all improvements. Time. No, tegi kon sa kato lang a service. No, kato lang a service. Time is another important aspect, as I said, in marketing. Now, market transformation changed the value of commodities. That's correct, no? Marketing or market transformation changed the value from if you like serve it on time, serve it fresh, serve it door to door, it increased the value of the commodities. You are willing to buy at a premium provided it serves your need. Access, on time, timeliness, something like that. No? Now, marketing to most farmers means commodity marketing sa farmer. Pero ang commodity is really very raw. No? There is no branding in commodity. Commodity markets tend to be highly competitive because there are many buyers, sellers, basically the same basic commodity. Price difference among different locations rarely exceed transportation cost. No? Pagbawi lang sa transportation cost if it is commodity marketing. However, if it is product marketing or commodity marketing, product marketing, it's different. No? But products are different. Products may be differentiated by anything. Value. Example, you process a certain product. Okay, you process, then you can put label and branding. Well, that is different. Now, so it's differentiated. So the thing is, marketing can make or unmake a product. If you have a good marketing strategy, you can actually increase the value of your product. That's why you can also change the structure and even texture of the business with effective marketing and market environment. Okay. The role of marketing in agribusiness development is that it provides option and possibilities by which wealth or value creation is possible. That's true. If you want to have value addition, it's the job of marketing. No? It's the job of marketing. The same product, pero mas mahal siya. Why? You serve the specific needs of the customer. Ang needs of customer is online or on-time newspaper. You basically serve that, put a premium to that, the customer will pay because it's serving their needs. So that is marketing. Now, the customer or the diners really need somewhere, someplace to dine and relax and bring his visitor na di siya maulaw nga very relaxing. You bring him to that place nga gwapo kay ambience. As I have told you a while ago. Ang akong sister-in-law who is living in San Diego sa US, sa California, when she saw us very calmly watching the sunset, eating our dining there in that particular restaurant, ningingon ginahin siya, nag-FaceTime, ningingon siya, dalhan niya ko diha, inag-uli na ko ha, o can you imagine? It already stimulated the demand or the customer, it already establishes a need for customers even far, far away in the other side of the ocean. No? in the US. Dalhabi ako diha, ug muuli ko ha. O, can you imagine? I was just smiling. Yes, of course, gi-focus pa gyud ang gaso-aso pa nga sinugba. Nya, several other items. Galaway, in other words. No? Now, another is market differentiation also is providing value added for agricultural products. Okay? How? A mere access or mere you serve specific niche. How, no? Una-una man ka sa imong buhaton. Naa kay for example, fish pond. You don't sell fish. Catch them and sell in the market? No way. That's so cheap. How? You have a fish pond? Let the customer fish for themselves. And then wait, and then they pay. Boy, the joy of catching fish for themselves will far outweighs the amount of money they pay. It's the experience that counts. When you hold a vibrating fish line, fishing line, the joy there is really, you will forget that you are paying 250 per kilo for this little tilapia that you are catching. And isugba pag yun nimo, and then, lutuan, kanon. Right there, that's another service. Value addition for products that are, because we have to think in terms of how we can mesmerize, how we can delight the customer. Okay? Being different, uncommon, or exceptionally unique in a way. No? That's why na-farm dito sa Kuan, na-farm dito sa La Union. I've been there, nag-visit ko. They are charging so much for a kilo of grapes, or even dragon fruit, or even other fruits found in their plantation, because the customer themselves will harvest. No, pa-picture pa ana nga to sa grapes, sila yung harvest. The experience there is really far well, it overcomes the face value of the money they pay. You pay 500 pesos per kilo, but ikaw ang harvest, pa-picture pa ka dito, ugong pa ka sa grapes, imo pang paakon ang grapes, picture ko ka, wala na, kalimot na ka sa 500. Pag timbang dito, bayad lang ka na yun. Ano ba? When you can buy it in the shelves of the supermarket at 250, 300 pesos per kilo. But the experience creates value addition. Okay? Now, in other words, niche in the market. That's a niche market may be defined as a market that is different from predominant market for the same basic commodity. Think of a niche, serve it, create it, and it's okay. You will survive in the business. So, what is your niche? So, that should be your diskarte na nimo, no? Market for agro-services, also something else, no? Something like that. Value-added activities. Farmers attempt to add value through processing also. They process, no? In order to increase storage life. Okay? So, is there a value addition for process? So you go there. If you put value, if you know, say for example, if the service is worthwhile, I just contacted a seller of dragon fruit cuttings in Bukidnon. From the looks of it, cuttings raman ni, cactus raman ni dragon fruit. But why is it that they are selling, wa pa na delivery ha? Wa pa delivery na. Ila is just the cutting itself. Usa ka cutting. 500 pesos per cutting. Can you imagine? Mahala ba ni? But ang service behind it, mao da ilang unique, or what we call it, the unique selling proposition. Okay, bubayad pa ka. o delivery, like almost like 520, 550 per cuttings. Kung daghan imong i-deliver, well, maka-save ka sa delivery. Kaya ikaw may mabayad sa delivery. Paingon diri or paingon asan dapita. But they provide assistance how to take care of that para ma-survive. Good. Okay? Tudluan ka. Just like what I was telling you a while ago, online consultation, no? Real time. Diretso na. Picturean ako, padali doon sa ibuhaton na ni. Bawas po siya. Mao ni sir, yeah, pag-ibutagan na instruction. Ano din ni, putla din ni dapita, butangi direk ana. Wa pa'y 1 minute, kuha na mi. Nagkaya maong di ay. Kay tagaan mag additional service. Just to make sure nga, there is no customer dissatisfaction. That is value addition. Okay, that is value addition. Very important for marketing and knowing your market. Okay, that is a good idea that we can make it happen in this particular factor. So this is the end part of lesson 2.4 in module 2. This is also the last module. Okay? Now, there is again another quiz. So, tulo na ka quiz ang atong naagian. Now, this quiz I will add dito sa sa exam. Sa exam what? Dito sa exam sa module 2, dili pa sa module 1. Pero take note sa uban akong material na apoy quiz dito sa module 1. Take note of that kaya I will also give you a quiz for that particular module. I-add na ko dito sa exam karong Friday. Okay? So with that note, I will end from here, and I will also like say stop recording.